Story 1, no, you can't have New Year's Eve off. So I started a new job this year, and up until recently I've genuinely been enjoying it. There's some colleagues I've bonded with really well with, and I'm actually really good at what I do. I work in primary care for the NHS UK, and patients are always telling me how helpful and how kind I am. Since I joined in January, 6 patients have bought me chocolatesflowers by way of a thank you for fixing certain problems for them. For the first time in a really long time, I feel like I've found some sort of calling. As lame as that sounds. But recently my days have become increasingly difficult. 4 months into my employment, my colleague, let's call her Trish, who trained me up, had to take some time out for a health issue, so I spent 3 months basically doing the job without her, and at times it was incredibly stressful being the only person able to perform the job. Admittedly, there was maybe 1 or 2 days it was too much and I had to run off for a small cry before getting back out there. However, eventually ended up taking it in my stride and thus gained praise and respect from colleagues and patients alike. But when it was said Trish was coming back, I was relieved because I thought it would give me a bit more breathing room. I was wrong. Now I'll preface all of this by saying that Trish isn't particularly well liked. She's known for being blunt to the point of cruelty both to patients and coworkers. She's snappy and rude to pretty much everyone. There's negative comments regarding her on Google for crying out loud. She's had umpteen complaints against her, but they keep her around as she's worked there for around 20 years. When she went on leave, granted I didn't know her that well, but we got on well, and in spite of everyone bad-mouthing her behind her back or making snarky comments when she went into a different room, I stood up for her. No one was particularly overjoyed she was coming back from leave other than me. For the first few days she was back, she went straight back to trying to train me in spite of the fact I'd been doing everything solo since her absence. Which rubbed me up the wrong way a little, but I ignored it. The last time I saw her I was still regularly asking questions. So that's fair enough. But even though she could see I was quite capable and competent, she kept talking to me like a moron, so I had to be quite blunt with her and tell her I'd been doing the job by myself perfectly well with zero help from her or anyone, so I didn't need to be refreshed with training. Since then July the relationship has soured somewhat. We're civil when it comes to work stuff, but outside of that we don't really talk. Until a couple of weeks ago. I had a particularly difficult patient call up 3 days in a row and I just needed to vent. In my head it came under the headline of work-related, so I vented to Trish about the patient. She agreed the patient was difficult and I did the correct thing for them, etc. I thanked her for letting me blow off some steam about it and went to do something else. I forgot something though, so went back and caught Trish bitching about me to 2 other colleagues, calling me soft, a whingy cow, I just need to grow up and get on with it, etc. She was like a deer in headlights. Nothing was said between us, but the whole next day she may as well have been kissing my arse. Now my supervisor messaged me the other day re an extra holiday day around Christmas. Trish is on annual leave currently, so the supervisor hadn't yet asked which extra day she wanted. From previous conversations with Trish I know she wanted to take the last few days of the year off so she could go over to Europe to spend nigh with her adult child. After the way she's treated me the last 2 months I felt like being incredibly petty, so I asked for the day I knew she wanted and asked to use a couple of my annual leave days as I have family commitments, meaning I had 3 days off, total, following the weekend. This was also going to be Trish's plan. My supervisor gave them to me. So that now means Trish won't be able to take the days off as there won't be any cover. I also know she's already booked her hotel and flights and she was just waiting for the supervisors to bring up the extra holidays. So fuck you, Trish. TLDR, caught a colleague slagging me off, so knowingly booked annual leave for dates I knew colleague wanted. Colleague had booked hotel and flights to visit family for nigh. So now she won't be able to go as there won't be cover due to me having booked the time off. Pillybox says, brilliant. Hope her tickets and reservations were non-refundable. Give for Beckester says, please give us an update when she is back at work and finds out about this. Carcassa says, please tell me your plans are to sit at home with a cup of tea and do nothing, then make sure she finds out about it after the fact. Just to really twist the knife. Story 2, teacher said no to bathroom 4th grade, asked my teacher if I could go to the bathroom. Teacher said no, I explained I really need to go and if I don't I'll pee myself. Teacher told me to hold it. So I immediately peed myself. I then raised my hand and said I peed myself and need to go home. The teacher literally said, you're joking, right? I then stood up to show the teacher my pee-soaked pants and pee all over the chair and I said no, I'm not joking. The teacher sent me the principal's office, who then called my mom to come pick me up. My parents had a meeting with the principal on this. That teacher never denied me a bathroom break again. Niorio says, not a bathroom story, but in 1st grade I wasn't feeling very well. School calls dad, who was rarely in from work abroad, comes to schools at me and goes, she's fine. I immediately threw up on his shoes. Guess she's not fine underscore Bitrite says, my parents told me this tale because I don't remember it. I pissed my pants once in preschool. I told my parents it was because the teacher wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. Apparently, I asked to use the bathroom after recess, and the teacher was upset that I didn't go during recess, so she told me to hold it in until the next break. My dad told me that the next time that happened, I should just get up and piss on the door. That way, I wouldn't piss my pants, and I wouldn't be breaking the rules since I hadn't left the classroom. My mother got an interesting phone call from the school the next day. No underscore noise underscore 5733 says, I once threw up all over a teacher who was making me eat prunes at lunchtime. Her skirt, her legs and her shoes all got it. She never spoke to me again lol. Thanks for watching, I love you. Follow Reddit Echoes for more.